Welcome to today's breakdown. We're doing something really cool today. We're going to trace the entire journey of character creation, starting with the deep psychological theories used in massive Hollywood 3D animations, all the way down to the free DIY AI tools you can use right now to build your own viral audience. Let's get right into it. Here's our roadmap for today. We're covering the magic of anthropomorphism, emotion in 3D animation, the art of voiceover, acting with emotion instead of just pitch, and finally, making AI character shorts. Starting with Section 1, the magic of anthropomorphism.
You know, the absolute secret to engaging storytelling, it actually has very little to do with the plot. It's all about how we bridge the emotional gap between humans and the non-human world. Think about Po from Kung Fu Panda, dealing with incredibly relatable human insecurities, or Judy Hopps from Zootopia, looking utterly exhausted and defeated. Why in the world do we, sitting comfortably on our couches, feel such profound empathy for a digitally rendered panda and a rabbit?
Well, the answer is anthropomorphism. It's the attribution of human traits, emotions, and intentions to non-human animals or inanimate objects. And listen, this isn't just a fun stylistic choice, it's a vital mechanism. It's what allows creators to make characters emotionally accessible to us while still keeping those unique, highly entertaining animal traits that make the visual story pop.
Moving on to Section 2, emotion in 3D animation. So, how exactly do the big Hollywood studios take this psychological theory and turn it into the visual magic we see on the big screen? Let's look at Kung Fu Panda again. The animators put a massive emphasis on Po's weight and motion. But here's the thing. His bulk isn't just there for a quick laugh. His physical clumsiness is actually a brilliant, relatable metaphor for his internal struggles with self-doubt. We connect with him because, honestly, his physical struggles mirror the internal ones we all face.
And look at how they handle his deeper emotional needs. Take the scene where Po is interacting with the Urn of Whispering Warriors. The animation team beautifully juxtaposes absolute reverence with total absurdity. You've got this awe-struck panda trying to whisper to a cookie jar, essentially. It's funny, right? But it also perfectly highlights his desperate, profound desire to belong in a world where he constantly feels like an outsider.
Now, shifting over to Zootopia, we get an absolute masterclass in timing. Look at the dynamic between Judy's rising impatience and Flash the Sloth's painstakingly slow demeanor. The animators dial in the exact timing of Judy's frantic pacing against Flash's agonizingly slow blinks to create this laugh-out-loud humor. But beneath the surface, it's underscoring a much deeper social allegory about real-world frustrations and differences.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the tiniest physical details communicate massive internal states. Just look at Buster Moon from Sing 2. After facing some brutal criticism, he literally hides in a washroom. His physical appearance does 100% of the heavy lifting here. The soaked fur, the limp posture, they completely convey his absolute emotional defeat, and he doesn't even have to say a single word.
All right, Section 3, the art of voiceover.
So, we've explored the visual side of character creation, but what about the audio? YouTube creator Himanshu hits the nail on the head here. A lot of beginners think voice acting is just, making funny squeaky noises. But he points out a really crucial realization. If you're creating content for a mature audience, making distinct characters is way less about those cartoonish, high-pitched vocal gymnastics and almost entirely about pure emotional expression.
Which brings us to Section 4, acting with emotion, not pitch.
Let's put this into practice with a little scenario featuring three guys, Rahul, Vikram, and a Zen master. To separate them, you don't need wild cartoon voices, you just actively demonstrate their state of mind. So for Rahul, who's anxious, you might elevate your pitch just a bit, but mostly you make the delivery fast-paced and breathy to show that absolute panic. Then Vikram steps in. He's this wealthy, arrogant businessman. So you slow down, drop the energy heavy, and sound dismissive and rude. Finally, the Zen master. He doesn't need to sound like some ancient stereotype. He just needs a calm, resonant, peaceful delivery. Literally, just smile while you're recording his lines, and it completely changes the read.
But you know what really glues these distinct personalities together? It's the pacing. You absolutely have to master the pause. The deliberate silences you take or skip are what actually carve out these characters. Think of a flowing river navigating around rocks. In voiceover, intentional silences are like that water. They give the dialogue its true shape, its depth, and its ultimate character.
And finally, Section 5, making AI character shorts.
All right, let's tie all this big budget theory to some modern AI tools. 24 million. That is the staggering number of views on a single AI-generated talking vegetable short on YouTube right now. It's crazy, but it proves exactly what we've been talking about. Anthropomorphic characters, giving totally human struggles to something as random as a piece of broccoli, still massively captivate digital audiences today.
So, how are people actually making these? Let's break down the exact 3-step workflow shared by the YouTube channel Autool Smart Tips. If you've been wanting to become a solo creator and build your own audience, this is literally exactly how you do it.
Step 1 is all about scripting and directing, and you're going to use ChatGPT for this. But here's the trick. You don't just ask for a basic story. You ask it for a 1-minute script, and you specifically command it to write out a visual image generation prompt for every single line of dialogue. You are basically turning ChatGPT into your entire pre-production team.
Okay, step 2. You take those exact visual prompts that ChatGPT just spat out, and you drop them right into Google Gemini. The secret sauce here is adding a 9:16 ratio requirement. By doing that, Gemini is going to generate perfect, mobile-friendly, vertical images of your characters that are tailor-made for platforms like YouTube Shorts.
And finally, step 3, the assembly. You take your freshly generated vertical images and import them into the YT Create app. From there, you just use its Generate Video feature, along with your prompts, to actually animate those static images. Once it's moving, it is perfectly primed for you to drop in that highly emotive, character-driven voiceover we just practiced.
So we've gone from the Hollywood big screen right down to your smartphone. We've decoded the empathy of 3D animation, the true psychology behind voice acting, and the exact AI tools you need to piece it all together. Now you have the technology and the techniques, so which character will you bring to life?